The audience kindly maintain the decorum. My dear audience, the moment has come. Here we have our most awaited guest, Mr. Viveck Vaswani, accompanied by Mr. Ankur Jain, Mr. Sumit Vaswani, the manager of our school, Dr. Prem Kumarji, our worthy principal sir, along with the school coordinator. Kindly welcome them with a huge round of applause. A very delightful and wonderful morning to all of you. I, Kritika, the Secretary of BCM Leadership Forum, extend a heartiest welcome to all of you. I cordially and respectfully welcome Mr. Viveck Vaswani, Dean, the School of Contemporary Media, Paul Academy, Mr. Ankur Jain, Director for GUS Global Services, Academic Partner to UPES, Dehradun and Paul Academy, and Mr. Sumit Vasan, Senior Manager for GUS Global Services, Academic Partner to UPES, Dehradun and Paul Academy. Now I extend a warm welcome to the Executive Director of BCM Foundation and the Manager of our school, Dr. Prem Kumarji, and his better half, Mr. Anuradha Kumar. I also welcome our worthy Principal Sir, Mr. D.P. Guleria, who always inspires us to be updated with the latest trends in the society and various professions. Dear audience, the organization of this session on creative career is a testimony to this fact. Last but not least, I would like to welcome all the coordinators, teachers, and the students of class plus 1 and plus 2 sitting here as audience. I also welcome the online audience who have joined us through the YouTube Live. Once again, a heartiest welcome to all of you. Flowers have always been a symbol of love, affection, care, and happiness. So to express our happiness at the presence of the influential personalities and to welcome them, I request our student president, Rakhav Garg, to present a bouquet to Mr. Viveck Vaswani. Audience, your claps should not stop. He's an actor, director, writer, and a producer. Further, I request the head girl of the school, Samriddhi Purohit, to offer a bouquet to Mr. Ankur Jain, Director for GUS Global Services, Academic Partner to UPES, Dehradun and Paul Academy. Welcome, sir. Further, I request the head boy of the school, thank you so much. Now I request the head boy of the school, Keshav Bindal, to present the bouquet to Mr. Sumit Vasan. Audience claps should not stop. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much. So BCM family is highly elated and excited with your presence. Well, dear audience, before moving ahead, I would like to tell you about the BCM Leadership Forum by BCM Foundation, which is a platform to benefit the students with the inspiring, motivating, and electrifying lectures on life lessons and life experiences by successful and renowned personalities from different spheres of life, like business, writing, media, etc. And today, we are gathered here for an interactive session by Mr. Viveck Vaswani on the topic creative careers. I'm sure the audience sitting here is keen to know about the speaker of the session. So I would like to invite the members of the forum, Ravnu and Nandini, for a brief introduction of the speaker of the day, Mr. Viveck Vaswani.
About the speaker of the day, who is an inspiration for millions of people out there, Mr. Viveck Vaswani.
Mr. Vaswani chose his career in the field of entertainment, a creative field which happens rarely in our country. Sir, you are a living epitome that believing in yourself is the key to success.
Mr. Vaswani is not just an actor. He too is a producer, writer, and teacher who gave big breaks to actors like Shah Rukh Khan and Raveena Tandon. He is an alumnus of Campaign School, Cathedral, and John Camp.
Mr. Vaswani started his acting career with India's first television acting show, Khandan. He has also produced a Marathi film and a major TV show, Playing Shine.
Mr. Vaswani has acted in more than 100 films and numerous TV shows. Additionally, he has also produced 13 films and 2 TV shows.
Besides all this, Mr. Vaswani is also an actor, director, and consultant to a number of well-established companies and startups in entertainment business. So, now I would humbly like to welcome the speaker of the day, Mr. Viveck Vaswani, to come on the stage and address the audience.
Well, dear audience, now let's welcome this impressive, incredible, impactful, and inspiring personality by round of applause.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Because I have a little bit of a bad throat. Not because of the weather, but because I talk too much. And I have been talking continuously for the last 2 years to students like you. So if you can't hear me, you have to tell me. But if you can hear me, I think this is just fine. Yes. I was talking to Dr. Prem Kumar and he said, when did you decide on your career? And I said, when I was 2.5 years old. So, there's a story behind that. I think there was a family wedding. And the whole family, cousins, uncles, aunts, everyone was going to see a movie. I was too small to know what a movie is. So I didn't want to go. I shouted, I screamed, I fought. But unfortunately, at the age of 2, I was overruled. They put me in a bag and they took me to the theatre. And I remember it was the Regal Theatre in Bombay. It had a huge 70mm screen. It was dark, and when they took me out, the film started. It was huge. And there was music. The film was sound of music, and there were mountains, and there were children, and there was singing, and there was dancing. And after 3 hours, when it got over, I didn't want to go back home. So they put me in the bag and they took me home again. And the next day I told my father, I said, Dad, I'm going to make movies. He was delighted. He said, see, at the age of 2.5, my son already knows what he's going to do. He's going to make movies. I said, I'm going to make them, I'm going to write them, I'm going to act in them. I'm going to keep doing movies all my life. He said, that's wonderful. And he told all his friends, my son, he's a genius. At 2.5, he knows what he's going to do. When I was 18, I said, Dad, I'm 18 now, I'm going ahead to make movies. He said, I was stupid, have you gone out of your mind? I said, but when I was 2, you said I could do it. He said, but you were 2, now you're 18, now you should know better. Better? So I made him sit down and said, Dad, you go to the movies with me every week. That's 52 times a year. You go to the doctor only 3 times a year. But medicine is a profession and cinema is not a profession. You have to give me the logic. I was captain of the debate team, so I was a very big arguing person. He didn't have an argument. I said, if you don't have an argument, then why would you stop me from doing something which is obviously profitable? Because someone is making money. Movies are being made every week, releasing every week. Someone's running a theatre. Someone's distributing those movies. Someone's making a print. Someone's acting in it. It, to me, looks like a very big, bustling, profitable profession. When I said the word profitable, he talked to my mother and said, maybe Viveck is not just glamour struck. Because he did not say he wanted to be a star and he wanted to see his face in the magazines. He said, this is a profitable profession. He sat with me next day and he told me something which I think is very important for all of you to know about your parents. He said, Viveck, if you want to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, stockbroker, businessman, if you want to join the government services, the army, the police, I can help you. I know these professions. I know there are friends of mine who are lawyers or doctors or stockbrokers or businessmen. They can help you. So I don't feel insecure. But when you say you want to be in movies, I don't know anyone in the movies. I don't know how they're made. I don't know who makes them. I only know that we go to the theatre, pay 5 rupees or 10 rupees, those were the prices, and we go and see for 3 hours. So I'm insecure, and that insecurity makes me very, very scared, because what if you fail? So I said, what if I want to be a doctor and I fail then? Finally, you're not arguing with me about my profession, correct? You're arguing about success and failure. It comes down to that. What happens if I'm a very successful film producer, which I am? But if I were to be a very bad doctor, again you said you're just arguing here. You just only argue with me. There has to be some logic. I don't know how to help. I said, I'm not asking for your help. I'm not even asking for your support because you're a good father. But how can you support me in the film industry? You don't even like watching movies. The only movies that you watch are the ones who come home, come with me. The point I'm trying to make is when you want to get into careers that your parents don't understand about, you will find that there will be resistance, especially for you girls. Their dream is that you should have a nice career, which means something which you dirty your hands with, and then get married. And you guys should have a safe career, which gives you a regular income every month, so that they can feel secure that their children are earning their own money. Is that fair enough? I think that's fair enough from parents' points of view. But where is the danger for you? What is safe is not safe anymore. Anything that will be automated or robotized or computerized, it's going to be automated and robotized and computerized. What is left for you to do? If a computer is going to do everything that you've been taught. So obviously you have to learn certain skills which no matter what, a computer or a robot cannot do. Only then are you going to have a chance of becoming big and earning a lot of money. Which are those fields where you can fight and be better than a computer? What is it that you have that a computer can't have? Imagination. Computers are not taught how to imagine things. They can only output what is input into them. Talent, skill, dedication, determination. Above all, hard work. Computers don't work hard. We press buttons, they deliver an output. But careers which require talent, skill, imagination, discipline, perseverance, persistence, hard work, those are going to be the careers of the future. And those careers are available in creativity. No matter how much you program a computer, it will give you music. It cannot give you Lata Mangeshkar's voice. It cannot give you Arijit's voice. You can replicate 600 paintings. They could be Hussein's, they could be Maiwell's, they could be Picasso. But there will be only one original Picasso, which he painted by hand. Computers may not be able to write poetry. They will not be able to write scripts. They will give you tools to format what you write. But they can't write. So understand where I'm coming from. Those careers which require you to use your brains, your imagination, your skill, your talent, and which allow you to do hard work, be disciplined, determined and persevering. Those are where tomorrow and in the next few years you are going to shine. In my father's day, the most important career was the chartered accountant. If a child was doing chartered accountancy, the other parents said, oh, he was doing CA, he must be a brain. Today we pay our income tax using algorithms and apps. We don't need blades to do it anymore. We just fill in the number. We don't have to go to the bank and sit to the bank manager and take out the spreadsheets of our whole year's account. We don't have, the computer does it all. So whereas it is an important profession, it always will be as long as we're being taxed in India, it is not a big profession anymore unless you become a chief financial officer of a company or you become into a chartered accountant for a corporation. But all of us who use chartered accountants to file our taxes, we don't anymore. A whole bunch of stuff that people, professionals, used to do for us, that all become computerized. Half of us take our medicines from Google. Why go to the doctor? Google mein dekho kya hai, acha ye dawa ye le lo. It may be wrong, but that's not the point. So microsurgery, using the metaverse to take medicine forward, is important. A general practitioner who gives you a crocin for a fever has actually become redundant. Every major engineering feat today is already programmed by computers. So you can become a computer programmer, but there's 1 million computer programmers. So obviously when there will be 2 million computer programmers tomorrow, the salaries are going to fall. Unless you create a new app, in which case you are an entrepreneur. A professional wedding photographer who in my parents' time used to get 50 rupees conveyance and a dish of ice cream, and then he'd make prints, and then we'd buy the prints at 5 rupees and 10 rupees. My friend Atul Kastvekar charges 1.5 crores to shoot a destination wedding. The guy who's shooting the hamburger on the McDonald's ad or the Kentucky Fried Chicken basket which you see on the order, he's getting paid 5 lakhs. Skill-based careers, talent-based careers, imagination-based careers, and creative industries, fashion, styling, designing, communication design, interior design, cinema, television, radio, OTT platforms, theatre, music. The list is endless. Every single thing that your parents will be against is where you're going to earn big money. Which is why I was talking to them and I was saying subsequently I would love to start an interaction where I can meet with your parents and talk to them and educate them. You guys are Gen Z, you're not born with Google in your hands, smartphones in your hands. Anything we tell you, you have the answer. talk to that. You got your own language. You created your own short forms. If I, however, take your laptop and your phone away from you, and I give you a paper and a pencil, and ask you to write the same thing, you won't be. You're so used to WhatsApp language. WTF, HFU, whatever. Your favorite. Anytime anything happens, whatever. What is whatever? I don't know. But you know. So you've created your own language. You've created your own world, in which the internet plays a very large part. But how do you take that further? How do you take it forward? How do you translate that into money? How do you translate that into a profit? How do you translate that into an income? How do you translate that into success? It comes down to the same thing, success and failure. So when I got the opportunity to join Pearl Academy as the Dean of the School of Media, my first reaction was, I'm an actor. I'm a producer. I don't know what it is to be a dean. I am not an academician. I'm not an educationalist. But in their wisdom, they called me and they said, Mr. Vaswani, there are certain careers, certain professions that have to be taught as professions. They cannot be taught as subjects from a textbook. In fact, 50% of those careers don't have textbooks. We need someone from inside the industry who can tell our students and teach them the reality of A, what that particular career is, B, how to go inside that career, and C, how to sustain in that career, survive in that career, and 4, how to be successful in the career. And they took the example of a fat boy who never combed his hair, whose name was Shah Rukh Khan, who came to Bombay. I met him on the road. He came to my house. It's a long, very funny story which I'll tell you some other time. But he stayed for 2 years. And he didn't want to do films because he had a girlfriend called Gauri and she had forbidden him to do films. She said, you can do TV, you can't do films. He said, why? He said, because she said, in films you have to hug girls. Not in life. In TV you don't have to hug girls, so you do as much TV as you want. So he was acting in a serial called Circus, but he didn't have a place to stay. He was staying in the house until his mother died. Then he came back home one day at 5 o'clock and said, I have to do films now. My mother's dream was that I become a star. So we sat together and we created a film which I hope all of you have seen, which is called Raju Bandiya Gentleman, which I wrote for Shah Rukh. I mean, if you see Shah Rukh and Raju Bandiya Gentleman, you're seeing Shah Rukh as he was in real life. But as we finished drafting it and putting the finishing touches to it, I realized that the aim was not to put him in a film. The aim was to give him a career which was sustainable. My friend Salman Khan, whom I also launched in a film called Patthar Ke Phool along with Raveena Tandon, he has tried to launch very many people. He tried to launch Suraj Pancholi in a film called Hero. You could become an actor, a doctor, an engineer, a fashion designer, a stylist. It doesn't matter what the career is. If you want to be successful in that career, you need a strategy. So I made a deal with Mr. Shah Rukh Khan. And I said, Mr. Shah Rukh Khan, you have to act in 4 other movies. You have to sign them. And those 4 movies have to be sold to distributors. When you have 4 movies that are sold to distributors, you will start shooting that film. Because then yours will be. So the strategy was not to make him a hero. The strategy was not to make him a hero. The strategy was to make him saleable. So I made him sign a film called King Uncle. I took him to Rakesh. Rakesh Roshan. And King Abdul was already sold, not because Shah Rukh was acting, but because it starred Jackie Shroff, who was the number one star in those days, and it was directed by Rakesh Roshan, Hrithik Roshan's father, who was a very big and successful producer and director. Then there was a buzz. Who is this boy that Rakesh Roshan has signed? And in that buzz, Hema Malini signed him for a film called Dil Ashnaya, which was a multi-star. There was Jitendra, there was Mithun Chakravarti, Kabir Bedi, Dimple Kapadia, Amrita Singh, Sonu Walia, Diya Bharati. It didn't matter what he did in the film, it was sold. And because there was Hema Malini and GDCP behind him, I was the unknown factor working from behind. He signed a film called Chamatkar with Shah and Shami Kapoor, which was a very fun film, and Mumina Madhukar was his heroine. And Chamatkar was being produced by Heroes Films and Mr. F.C. Mehra, who had made 47 films. He had very soon, he was already sold. And the last film he signed was Divana with Rishi, which he didn't want to do, but there was a commitment. 4 films had to be sold. And the moment he signed Divana, we started shooting Raju Gandhi Gentleman. So though I launched him in a film called Raju Gandhi Gentleman, it was not his first release, it was his fourth. But the moment I launched it, it got sold. So we learned some lessons. One, I've already told you, it is about a strategy. Success is always about a strategy. Success is never random. And number 2, to talk to Rakesh Roshan and Rajiv Mehra for Chamatkar and Shabban Kapoor for Divana, Hema Malini and Devdaji for Dil Ashnaya, he had to be qualified to talk to them. He had to know who they were. He had to know what kind of films they had done. He had to understand how to have a conversation with these people. He couldn't walk in and say, hello, I'm Devdaji. I'm your fan, sir. It would not have happened. It just could not and would not have happened. So I made him read trade papers, I made him watch various movies, one movie every night, because every single theatre was a college, every single film was a cinema. I made him learn the title and he was able to talk to them, because golden rule number 2, if you can't talk to them, you can't work with them. If I send you to Karan Johar today and you don't know who he is, how many films he's produced, who his father was, how many films his father had produced, and you cannot discuss the cinema of Dharma Productions with Karan Johar, and he can't talk to you, then he can't bond with you. If he can't bond with you, he cannot become a friend. If he cannot become a friend, he can't work with you. Strategy, knowledge, qualification. And that's where we come in at Pearl. At Pearl Academy, we have 4 schools. We have a school of fashion, we have a school of design, we have a school of business, the school of business, and of course, we have the school of contemporary media. And we don't have textbooks. We qualify you, your skills, your talent, your brain, where each one of you, whether you want to be a fashion designer, whether you want to be an interior designer, whether you want to be someone who's an expert and an influencer on social media, you want to do advertising or journalism or marketing or cinema, you are trained to use your brains, and that is why we have no textbooks. We teach you to become successful. We have no choice. Today, if I have a student and for 3 years, he or she has been trained under me and they want to go to the film industry, then they cannot be like the other film schools where they're sitting unemployed waiting for work. I don't just teach them how to act or how to direct or how to produce. I teach them how to translate that into a career. Like I taught Shah Rukh. I didn't put him in one film and sit back while the second film came. I made sure that there were 4 films even before the first major film was released. And by the time we came to Kabhi Na, he had set up his own distribution office. And by the time we came to Viveck Vaswani, he had set up his own production company. Growth came from knowledge and qualification, and then subsequently, of course, from experience. So understand that just because these are creative careers, or they sound like fun, whether it's music, or whether it's journalism or acting, they are fun to look at from the outside. Inside, they are harder work than anything else. The success is far, far, far more satisfying. And that's what we do at work. We take you by your hand. We first understand, at least I, in my school, sit with every single student personally. We understand your strengths, we understand your weaknesses. We understand your strong points, we understand your weak points. We understand what you like doing, what you don't like doing. What is the point of forcing you in a career where you don't like doing what you're doing? You're not going to succeed. And then, based on your knowledge, your skills, your talent, what you like doing, what your strengths are, I give you a whole spreadsheet of it. And that is where the key is. I'll give you an example of a friend of mine. His son was just not going to college. I'm not interested. They came to me and said, Viveck, I've talked to the boy. Please, do something. I'm going to talk to him. I said, what's up? He said, what's up? I said, what do you like? He said, nothing. Do you like drinking? No. Do you like eating? No. But finally, after 20 minutes of talking, he realized I was not his father. I was a friend, even though I was not the age of his father. And he said, I like girls. Fair enough. I started talking about event management. I started about rehearsing and choreographing fashion shows. I started talking about various careers, photography, glamour photography, where he would be surrounded by girls. And he didn't mean it in the wrong way. He just didn't want to be surrounded by boys and men. He wanted to be surrounded by girls. He was very happy. I gave him 14 choices. His father called him up the next day and said, I don't know what you've done. He's been spending whole night on Google. He's looking up lists of event management companies, talent management companies. And today he's working at a company called One, which is the talent management industry. He manages most of the stars. He's earning a fortune. It's just a question of understanding. Now you want to be a fashion stylist. You love fashion. You've been studying fashion all your life. You know your way forward. What you should do after your 12th standard to qualify yourself for fashion. And then after that, how you would Bombay or Delhi intern yourself to a fashion designer or to someone like Anayita Ajania Go. And then you branch out on your own. But your father says, nothing doing, you have to become a doctor. Because I am a doctor, your grandfather was a doctor, your great-grandfather was a doctor. You don't have the tools to convince him. Because your passion for fashion, up to now, has not translated into knowledge. It has only translated into glamour. You are not able to sit with your father and tell him how much a fashion designer earns. They are not able to tell him how many jobs there are. They are not able to tell him what is the percentage of success. You are not able to give him the statistics to support your argument. So he is scared. He thinks that you are glamour struck. He doesn't know that you've done the homework or the research. And I don't know whether you've done the homework or the research. So why would I be convinced about your passion? I used to go from theatre to theatre and learn the posters by heart. In my days, there was no phone, there was no television, there was no internet. There was nothing. So I used to bunk school because, as I told you at the age of 3, I decided I wanted to be a filmmaker. I used to get off at a place called Nana Chowk. There were 26 cinemas. If I went straight, there was Novelty. From Novelty, if I went straight, there was Super Cinema, diagonally across was Shalimar. Then there came a fork in the road. On the left was Taj Talkies, Royal Talkies. And on the left was Vishal, Alfred, Gulshan, Silver, Blue Roshan, ending in Moti, diagonally across was Opera House. If I walked 1 kilometer from it, there was Roxy. Behind Roxy was Dreamland. In front was the Imperial Nazareth Hospital. If I went straight and didn't turn right at Novotel, I would reach Apsara and Minerva. If I went straight from Minerva and turned left across the bridge, there was Ganga, Jamuna and Diana. But if I didn't go left and I went straight, there was Maratha Mandir, and into Dogri there was Dhabi and there was Alexander. I knew them by heart. I got BBs for the gatekeepers and I learned my business. There is no substitute for knowledge. So when my father sat with me and he realized that this man is not glamorous. This man has actual knowledge and data and facts at his disposal. He gave me a fair chance, and if your parents love you, they will give you a fair chance. That is the truth. But you will go and say, Papa, I will actor नहीं बट मुझे करना नहीं सीखा. How convincing is that? I would keep you hard. So Papa is not going to be convinced by your drama, by your emotions, by your so-called passion. He is going to be convinced with your knowledge of the profession, the roadmap that you have created for yourself, the strategy that you have created for yourself. That maybe will give you a fair chance. You girls have a big disadvantage because your mother will listen to you, but she's got pressure from two places. One is the neighbors. The second is the seniors in the family. अच्छा ये dance class में जाते हैं. You are at the age where no matter what you do, you're just an expense. You're just spending his money. And over the weekends you're wearing clothes that he never understands. And you have friends that he doesn't like. And until you don't start earning money, he's not going to reach a position where he will be proud of you. He wants to. He desperately wants to. He's very proud of your achievements in school. He's not so proud of your achievements in college because there are no major achievements. Then he's worried because as college is getting over, it's coming closer and closer to America. जिनकी फैमिली बिजनेसेस है वो थोड़ा सा टेंशन लगा कि चल फैमिली बिजनेस. Those who don't have family businesses, those whose parents are in government jobs, those whose parents are actually in corporate jobs, they are scared for it. You have to take the initiative. You have to translate your passion into knowledge, into research. It doesn't matter what you want to do. You could want to become a chef. You could want to open a restaurant. You could want to set up your own magazine. You could want to become a radio jockey or a video jockey. You could want to become a model coordinator. You could want to work in a talent or an event management. You could want to build your own theatre chain. There are limitless and countless possibilities related to creativity and entrepreneurship and management. Unlimited. Unlimited. The choices are all in your hands. And that is the one very important thing that you should know. Finally, and this is one very important thing, don't miss out. It's your life, it's your career, it's your success, it's your money, it's your profits, it's your name, it's your fame, it's your success. Not your parents, not your friends, not your relatives, not your peer groups, not your competitors. I've seen a lot of kids going into the wrong profession only with their friends. My friends want to go into medicine. The sixth son wants to be a designer to go out and go into medicine society. And he's going to fail because he doesn't have the passion or the talent. So that's where each one of you has to think independently using your own brain. You want to do X career, your best friend may want to do Y career. And your other best friend may want to do Z career. All three should work differently on your careers. Your friendship will survive for the next 100 years. But if all three end up and say, chalo, तीनों compromise करते हैं, यही सब साथ में चलते हैं, इसी कॉलेज में सब चलते हैं. That is the sure way to feel. You owe your friends love and respect. You don't owe them sacrifices that makes you a failure. And definitely not your parents. So, your qualification education, your knowledge, your ability to talk to people, creating a strategy. Now it's never too late. How many of you are 16 years old? How many of you are more than 16? Karina was a star at 16. Well, I'm already too old. Remember, as we go further into life, careers are becoming younger. A lot of kids are saying we want to work very hard till we are 25 and then we want to retire. We don't want big money and Mercedes, we want leisure. We want to travel the world. We want to translate our hobbies into things that are creative, into something that can be an income. My own nephew worked in a bank for 10 years. He retired when he was 30. He's traveling the world with life. You're not young. You're old enough now to start thinking and letting your brain stand on its own feet. You start working your careers. You start working on your talent. You start working out a roadmap for your strategy, for your future. Otherwise, your daddy will do it for you, trust me. And understand that since it is your life and since you are at the right age, you have to start figuring it out. I could go on talking. I'm a talker. And I love talking to you kids. And I could teach you and tell you so many more things. The request I have to your principal and to Dr. Prem Kumar and to all of you sitting here is, let me do sessions like this with the parents. Let me regularly be able to talk to parents and get them the right guidance that they require so that you as teachers and they as parents can be two sides of the same coin. Otherwise, you will be progressive. You will teach them about the future. You will have seminars like this where people like me will talk about future-facing careers and creative academies like Pearl Academy. And the parents will say nothing new. You have to sell carpets because we've been doing it for 25 years. So unless parents and teachers are not seamlessly aligned, they're going to be in trouble. In my days, in your days, it was not so. 10th standard के बाद 12th standard, 12th standard का science, arts, commerce, कोई और चारा था नहीं. You didn't think of your career. You thought where you got admission. And after you finish your BCom, BA or BSc, you would figure out what career. Today it's exactly the opposite. You figure out your career first, what your passion is, what you want to do for the next 40, 50, 60, 80 years of your life. And then you decide what you want to learn. And there are institutes like Pearl Academy that actually allow you to sit and create your roadmap for your success. That was not there in my days. You have opportunities. There are creative educational institutes. There are people like me who've chosen to mentor and talk so that you understand careers more than you ever did. You have no experience. We had no choices. Understand the difference. And I will tell you certain things, and this is the last thing I will say, before I open it for you guys to ask me as many difficult questions as you want. The easy questions you already have the answers. So that would be laziness, but really difficult questions. I used to teach handicapped children at a place called Shamakada's Victory Arts Foundation. And one of the kids came to me, Rehan, and said, "Sir, I love you very much, but I don't need you. You can go." He dismissed me. I said, "What happened?" No, you're busy, you're overworked, yet you're coming. I will save you my debt. You go, I don't need a teacher. Why don't you need a teacher? He took this up from this. I have he took it up. He said, I have this. I have Google now. I have no need for a teacher. I said, that's absolutely fabulous. We're going to do one thing. I'm going to ask you a question. Come tomorrow and solve it from Google. You won't need. He couldn't. I had to teach him that Google can only give you information. Translating that information into knowledge is the work of your teachers. And when you talk to them and argue with them and discuss with them, that knowledge becomes wisdom. And your teachers are here for just that. They form an integral part of your education. And one thing I can guarantee standing here right now, they're available to you day and night. They're available to you as many times as you want. You don't have the time. You have to go to the mall. You have to go to your friend's birthday. You have your parents' anniversary. You have your cousin's wedding in Jalandhar. So you don't have the time for your teachers. Your teachers have all the time in the world for you. But guess who's losing out? You. You pick up the phone and call a teacher. The teacher will come, do overtime, sit with you, solve your problems, talk, discuss, unlimited. I guarantee you. The choices, again, as I said, are in your hands. So do not think that Google can give you anything except information. I don't today as a teacher teach you the height of Mount Everest. That's what you do. But how to climb Mount Everest? That's no problem. And that's what your teachers are here for. They are here to allow you to climb Mount Everest and become successful. Thank you.
The artists in the audience would definitely have certain doubts and queries. So now, let's proceed to the query session. I request the student president, Radhakar, to join Mr. Vaswani for the query session. Students interested to ask questions to Mr. Vaswani can raise their hands.
As I told you when I was standing there, don't waste your time on the simple questions, because those simple questions you already have the answers to. You know the answer by heart. Sit, think. The difficult ones you ask. Nobody has one question. You have a question?
Means I always wanted to ask that every famous personality like has a guru, has a mantra. Means who was your guru? What was your mantra?
As I told you, in my days there was no guru. But 26 cinemas in one area. I used to go one a day. I used to talk to the gatekeepers. I used to buy them BDs. I used to give them BDs. I used to smoke the BD and I was asking the question. How many people have come to the theatre at 3 o'clock? Sundays is house to buy. Who comes in the night shows? How many people do you employ to clean your cinema? What happens if the air conditioning doesn't work? It came from them. They were my gurus. I had no access to cinema or films, but I used to watch them. And I can still tell you that every film is a textbook. And every cinema is a college.
Sir, you truly have taught us a lesson of life. Students, please be free to ask questions to sir. Anybody interested to ask questions?
One thing I can also tell you, a lot of people have questions that they don't want to ask in public. So nobody puts their hand up. And then when I leave, 5, 6, 8 will come to sir once, please. So don't be shy, you can ask. Come on.
Good morning, sir. So, we came to know you are such versatile personality in this field of career. So, sir, what is the secret of management? We want to know, like, you manage acting, directing, and producing and all that.
Writing,
What's your thing?
journalism, cooking, I'm a chef, and review food. It's the best way to get free food in restaurants. I think And this I always fought with my parents. I have a disease called OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. Everything has to be in the right place and the right space. I am the only one who cleans my hotel rooms before I leave in the morning, so that when I go back in the evening, it's against. I think you have to be able to have the ability to compartmentalize your life. And I can give you one big hint here. Do not use your laptop or your phone. Use a diary and a pen. Because the moment you start writing, you develop what we call muscle memory. The moment you press buttons on your phone to make notes, you're not retaining anything in your brain. Take a diary, write your name in it. Make a very private and secret list of what you like doing. Make a second list of what you dislike doing. Make a third list of what your strengths are. Make a fourth list of what your weaknesses are. Make a fifth list of what your liabilities are. As you go in the future, you will have to support your parents or not. Do you have a sister who needs to get married or not? Do you have infirm parents who need your financial support? These are facts of life. You may not have thought of them now. You'll have to start thinking of them at some point. So make these lists. What you like, what you dislike, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are the things that are going to be a burden on your life. Therefore, how much money do you need to earn? Can I get by earning 10,000 a month, 50,000 a month, 1 lakh a month, 1.5 lakhs a month, 5 lakhs a month, 50 lakhs a month, 5 crores a month? You do your own goal setting. You decide. I'm a boy, I'm the only son. After my parents, the house belongs to me. I don't have the burden of buying a house. Put it down. Or we're living in a rented house. After my sister gets married and goes, and my father retires, we'll have to leave this and either go into a village or a small house. So I need to earn enough to rent a proper house where my parents will not only stay, but also my wife and my children. Put it down. I hate numbers. I can't do physics, I can't do chemistry, I can't do mathematics. But I'm very good with photographs. I'm very good with social media management. I'm very good with taking pictures and putting them on. Put it down. Make a graph of what you are, who you are, why you are. Based on that, you will realize how much you need to earn, and therefore 5 years from now, how much will you need to start earning? Therefore, 10 years from now, how much you should be earning. Put it down. It's part of strategy. You cannot play blind man's buff anymore. You're an old man of 16 and 17. I'm the young boy of 15. You can't afford it. In my days, we were kids until we were 18. But with Google and with smartphones and with laptops, and with the new independence that you have, and the new knowledge that Google keeps on giving you day to day, and the kind of world views you have, and the world views you get sitting on Google, you have opinions on everything. You're savvy, you're adult, and if you're adult enough to watch those kinds of movies, you're adult enough to take your responsibilities seriously and understand what you need to do, what you have to do, or what you want to do in the future. So my whole business of being able to do multiple careers is to actually have a diary, and at the beginning of every year, I get a new diary from the franchise company. I put my name, address, phone number, etc. And I compartmentalize my life. This much I'm going to movies, I'm acting in them. I'm doing a whole bunch of webinars for Pearl and for UPS. I have to leave. This year, every second semester, September to December, I teach film festival curating, I teach celebrity management, and I teach unusual cinema careers. So I will do about 100 hours of teaching between September and December. How is it possible if my life was disorganized? So I organize my life as just like I organize my cupboard. And if it's your mother who's organizing your cupboard, then really, really fast. Good question. Next question. Yeah. Yeah, that's Can she have a mic?
Very good morning, sir. So I am the only child in my family, and one thing which we all get is that whatever you want to do, you can do, but still our parents have a list of options for us. Like for me, the first thing which I had in my mind for my career option when I was in 6th class, and that was acting. Camera is my first love. It is my first love. I love people seeing smile. I love people seeing in front of me that I portray. And then I got into the point from my parents, acting. Are you sure for that? And I was like, yes, I'm sure. And they were like, no, please go for something else. And then I said, I don't like maths. And finally, they agreed to that point that I don't like, and they get me into arts for that. And now they say, why do you want to do acting still now? You now can be an economist, you now can be a politician, you now can be into political sciences and all that. Why acting? So how can I convince them for that?
It's very easy. Translate your passion into knowledge.
I did.
If I pick up the phone now and set up your meeting with Aditya Chopra, and I've given him a Shah Rukh Khan, I've given him Jugal Hansraj, I've given him Sanjay Garbi, who directed half the people at Yashraj Films who I trained over my assistants. And you are sitting in front of Aditya Chopra, and he's looking for a girl to pass. Let me ask, how many films has Aditya Chopra produced? How many films has he directed? How many films has his father directed? Which was Yash Chopra's first film? How many Filmfare Awards has Viveck won? What were the collections of Shamshika last year? If your passion for acting was really true, then these things would have been things you could have sucked into your brain for 2 years ago. You didn't. If I asked you who's the Prime Minister of India, you would say
Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
And if I ask you who's the CFO of Yashraj Films, that's also a Google. You don't know. How many theatres are there in India? You don't know. How many distributors are there in the Punjab circle? You don't know. Which film is running in Greek Palace just now? If your passion doesn't translate into knowledge, think again. I know what's running in Greek Palace. I know what are the Punjab collections of Shamshera last year. So if you say you have a passion for anything, and if that passion is not translated into knowledge, when you are not able to convince Adi Chopra that you love film so much, what is he asking for? Respect? Knowledge? Qualification? He is not asking you to go and tell your father, give me money and make a film. He is Aditya Chopra. Yashraj Films is #1 film production company in the country. What do you know about that? So I go further. What do you know about Sanjay Bansali? What do you know about Karan Johar Excel Entertainment? What do you know about the 10 top producers in India and how they give work? Are you coming? Are you understand? So if you have not taken the time and trouble to research your entire career, I'm not convinced how will your parents be convinced. They are looking at a girl who looks for acting. Why teach people how to become successful? Why do you teach how to be successful? You know, they should talk to Rakesh Roshni, he knew every film. I knew every film when I was 17 when I met Yash Chopra for the first time. I wanted to audition for a role. It took me a long time to get that meeting. In those days, there were meetings, there was no Zoom, there was no phone. And Yashchopra secretary said that this boy will give him 3 minutes. I went inside his cabin and she said, in 3 minutes I'm coming to take you out. He was talking on the phone. I didn't look at him. I looked at the trophy of Diwar, Filmfare Award, Best Director. When he put the phone down, I turned around and asked him. I said, you got Best Director. The film got Best Film. Shashi Kapoor got Best Supporting Actor. Why did Amitabh Bachchan not get Best Actor? Why did they give it to Sanjeev Kumar for Koshish? You don't know, there's about 2.5 hours he was talking to me. The secretary came in, he gave me lunch. We became friends for life because we were able to talk to one another. Now, if you're not able to talk to your parents who don't know anything, how will you talk to anybody in the film industry? And if you can't talk to them, how will you work with them? And if you can't work with them, where is the career? And if there's no career, where is the success? It's not about acting. It's about selling tickets. It's about understanding what kind of price you have to calculate. How much can you charge? Oh, sir, I work free acting. But if you don't have a price, the film doesn't have a price. If the film doesn't have a price, it doesn't have a market. If it doesn't have a market, you're going into failure. And unfortunately, none of the acting schools or acting classes or other media schools teach this. They teach you deep breathing and yoga and dialogue delivery. That's the director's job. Even if you don't know it, he will take out a performance if he's a good director. And if he's a bad director, no matter how good an actor you are, he'll get a bad performance. Because you do 3 shots, 4 shots, and the editor will choose one. So it's not your performance. It's what the editor has chosen of your performance to show the actors. Understanding means exactly what I said from there. Get into what you want to do with knowledge, with research, with data. Then and then only will you be able to convince your parents. Because your parents will say she's not talking a language that we can understand. She's giving us numbers, she's giving us charts. She's showing us exactly how. She's telling us how she's planning to go, how she's planning to return as an assistant, which is what we teach at home. So if you can convince them, I'll be very happy to come and sit and help you guide you. Like I'm doing with the film, why do you think everyone has knowledge has become successful? And it's got nothing to do with me, it's got to do with your passion, translating into knowledge. There are friends say, how many of you love cars? You all will know everything about cars. You will know the difference between a BMW and a Mercedes. For me, a car takes me from place A to place B. If the AC works, I'm happy. But those of you who love cars, love cars. You have spent time on Google, you check out the new models, you check out everything. Your passion translates into knowledge. Yes or no? Those of you who are interested in aeroplanes or ships or politics, it translates into learning. It's only in the acting industry where it doesn't translate. We think it is dance. It's research, knowledge, and passion translating into a movement.
Thank you, sir. You truly opened our eyes. Moving to other questions.
See, everyone thought it was some luck by chance. अरे यार फिल्म वाले ऐसा luck है. There is no luck. Alternatively, let me tell you a very big thing. There is a lot of luck involved. But all of you who can see, all of you who have 2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, teeth, parents, money, food, shelter, education, teachers, you're already in the top 1% of the lucky people in the whole universe. इससे ज़्यादा luck क्या चाहिए भाई? You've got all the luck in the world already. So don't bring luck into any equation where success is concerned. It's an industry. It's not a race course. It's not a gambling net. It's not a casino. Got it?
So, first of all, sir, same page, I do have OCD problem. Actually, whenever I leave my house, I have to check my house 2 times that whether the rat is leaving my house or not. So, yes. And one more thing that I have an argument with my parents every time about my career and everything. So I want to ask you that whether we should choose a profession which is profitable or in which we are interested in, which is our passion.
If your passion is true, it will be profitable. There's no argument. If you are going to be in a profession where you're going to fail and you're going to console yourself कि मैं कोई noble profession करूँ. I know enough of them. They come from the film institute and they come from the national, what's it called, NSC, National School of Drama, and they're very happy being बेचारा गरीब. कि हम भाई commercial films नहीं करते हैं, तो art film करते हैं. क्यों भाई? Why do you want to do a film that only 8 people want to watch? Doesn't the projectionist need his salary also? Doesn't the theatre have to pay the air conditioning bill? So there is no such thing. That is a dichotomy. If you go into any profession that you have a passion for, and if you do it correctly with a strategy, with a plan, using research, data, statistics, and knowledge to back your plan, you cannot fail. You could become a home chef. You could be cooking and baking at home and selling them out and earning 10,000 rupees a day. Provided your cooking is good, provided your delivery systems are good, provided your marketing is good, provided people have access to your website or your WhatsApp. It's not only about you, it's about everything else. So figure out and do your research and your data. And when you talk to your parents, don't argue, convince them with your strategy.
Thank you.
A very good morning, sir. So, sir, my question is like everything has its own pros and cons. So is the film industry. It has certain limitations like nepotism and casting couch, etc. So even if we
Stop right here. No. Ranbir Kapoor is born in the industry, yes?
yes, sir.
He knows all the questions that are asked her. From the time he was 4 years old, he knows Yash Chopra. He knows how many films Yash Chopra has made. He knows who Rishi Kapoor is. He knows the films of Rishi Kapoor. He knows Raj Kapoor. He knows how many films Raj Kapoor has directed. He has seen them all. He has seen his mother acting. He knows distributor. He knows what Ranbir Kapoor's films sell for. He knows what Rakesh Roshan's films sell for because Rakesh Roshan and Rishi Kapoor are best friends. He comes into the industry with knowledge and qualification, not nepotism. So the first thing we go is that nepotism is something that we are using as an excuse. वो ऋषि कपूर का बेटा है तो उसको रोल मिल गया, मैं फला का बेटा हूँ लेकिन मुझे रोल नहीं मिल गया क्योंकि वो ऋषि नहीं, not because he's Rishi Kapoor's son, because he has more knowledge than you. Go and meet another Chopra with more knowledge than Rishi Kapoor's son, he will give you the role. Go with more knowledge than Amitabh Bachchan's son. Go with more knowledge than Rakesh Roshan's son. These kids have learned the business the hard way. They've assisted their fathers. They've been kicked around. Ranbir Kapoor was pasted when he was Sanjay Bansali's assistant. Sonam Kapoor lost 20 kilos when she was Sanjay Bansali's assistant. Mr. Munjal runs a great organization. His family will have to take over, they don't have a choice. So if people like you are going to come into the industry without knowledge, without heritage, it is going to be those who are in the industry who have to carry the legacy forward. Nepotism has nothing to do with it. Go and meet Mr. Chopra and have a conversation with him. He will cast you. He will not cast me to 6 water. I carry you. We are looking for professionals. We don't care whose children they are. Now we come to the casting couch. The casting couch doesn't only exist in the film industry. It exists everywhere. It exists in politics. It exists in the hospitality industry. It exists in the airline industry. It exists everywhere where men and women work together. it's very convenient to throw a dart in the film industry because the film industry is written about more. The difference is that in corporate offices, in airlines, in hospitality, it exists because people who are girls who need to get promoted don't have choices. In the film industry, with due respect, there are so many girls and boys that there are so many choices that if you tell someone, sorry, I don't do this, it's a lie. Next one. Next one also say, no, goodbye. Next one. It's the ocean. There are those who prefer to take shortcuts and use sex instead of their brains. It's the first thing I taught you. काम ढूंढोगे तो काम मिलेगा, लेकिन कामयाबी ढूंढोगे तो कामयाबी मिलेगी. Nepotism or casting couch can get you a role, but it cannot make the film a hit. No. What we need is use your brains and create a formula where you are the master of your own success, not your job, your success. You don't want to get a role in a film. You want to get the right role with the right people in the right film. Those don't practice casting couches. Understand the difference. You act in a film, but the producer doesn't know how to sell it. The producer sold it to a distributor, doesn't know how to distribute it. The distributor tried to distribute it in the wrong theaters. Whose career is still yours? But you chose to work with B-grade people because you didn't know the difference. Keyword no, again it comes to knowledge. So casting couch, nepotism, etc. I'm sure they exist in the B-grade industry. And I'm sure it exists in the B-grade industries of all the top industries in the world. But sitting in this school, being mentored by these people in the first row, by hearing people like me, you have the choice of not being in any B-grade part of any industry, but in the A-grade part, where you don't have to use sex, you don't have to use your body, you don't have to use mommy's influence, you don't have to use daddy's influence. You have to not say, daddy has a friend who has a friend who has a friend who's in Bombay. You have to use your own brain, your own strategy, your own, and it will come from only three words: knowledge, knowledge, and knowledge. And that's what we do at Pearl Academy. We give you the tools to build your brain, to build your knowledge, to build your research, and we don't teach you. I can't teach you the right amount of research. We mentor you, we guide you, we lead you into the industry. So if you want to go into the film industry, you don't walk in the door. Viveck Vaswani takes you there because you're a Pearlite. Viveck Vaswani talks to Bansali and gets you an internship. Viveck Vaswani takes you to restaurant studios and gets you a job. Viveck Vaswani, as your lead, does everything for you because it's his job, it's what he's chosen to do. But all these things are things that you have to sit down and think. But you can't think if you're pressing them and putting selfies up all the time. You have to sit with a paper, a pencil, a table, a chair, alone, and think, and think, so that you get knowledge, knowledge, and knowledge. And Gursan, how much time do we have? One question, one last question. One last important question. I'm glad you're asking me difficult questions.
Thank you, sir. You have truly busted many of the doubts about the industries in the mind of the students. Moving to the next question.
Good morning, sir. So my question to you is, what is the most efficient and effective way of planning a strategy?
Slowly. What is the
most efficient and effective way of planning a strategy?
paper, pencil, plate, table, chair, जैसे कोने में बैठो, टेबल कुर्सी पे बैठो, सबको बंद कर दो. Take a nice pen, a nice paper, and start. The first strategy maybe is, what do I like doing? What do I hate doing? What are my strengths? My good looks are my strengths. My brain is my strength. My sporting qualities. What are my weaknesses? I am asthma. I get bored easily. I get distracted easily. What am I liable? I have to look after my people. First, get the nucleus right. Everything else will follow. Because once your brain starts working, it will work. All of you work out, go to the gym, your body changes. It changes its, correct? If you start working out your brain correctly, it will change. The way you talk will change. The way you walk will change. The look in your eye will change. Your confidence level will change. Your personality will change. Try it. It's unbeatable. Okay, they are making eyes at me, guys. I have to go. But my request is, let me sit with the parents and let us make a regular event annually where we can sit with parents and Ankur I think has wishes for you to call the calendar because I really think that creative institutes, for those of you who want to create careers, are going to be the way to the future.
Thank you very much, sir. Now over to Kritika for further proceedings.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really a wonderful experience. Thank you so much for sharing your experience and to enlighten us with your knowledge and for updating us with these diversified career options. Thank you. Always a huge round of applause to him for his electrifying lecture. Once again, thank you so much, sir. Since the speaker of the day has advised us to explore the career in creative. Since the speaker of the day has advised us to explore careers in the creative fields, so here we are going to have a glimpse of Petroleum University Dehradun and Pearl Academy, which are working in the same field.
Hi everybody, welcome to Viveck Vaswani. I'm Harper, and today I'm going to take you on a quick tour of our Rajouri Garden Director's campus. Come on, let's go. At the Delhi West campus, we have schools of fashion and design. One of the coolest things about this campus is how close you are to the metro station. Just at 2 minutes walk, and here you are. The infrastructure as you see is refreshingly unique, and the space has been creatively transformed into a contemporary architectural gallery. That's cool, right? Let's start with the library. Every single thing you need on beauty, art, business, tech, fashion, this is your playground. This is our futuristic classroom space, where we do all kinds of different things, like cutting patterns, exploring drapery, and having a lot of fun with fabric. This is where all the industry collaborations and networking happen, when we meet designers from all over the globe during our master class. The textile lab is where we develop new textiles, design patterns, explore and create new patterns. The printing lab, as the name suggests, is where we develop various print prints and block prints. And not to forget, the garment construction lab. This is where ace designers such as Mandira Work, Nikhil Mehra, and Vishali have created their first design. The magic woven in this place is displayed on the ramp of Global Fashion Week. We're now in the Makers Lab, which is the hustle ground for designers. This space encourages multidisciplinary learning and helps us develop a global viewpoint of design. This is where designers give life to their imagination that make it to platforms like Dubai Design Week, Asia Young Designer Award, and many more. Technology meets creativity with strong aesthetics here in our math lab. We learn a whole gamut of digital skills using Wacom tabs, NC computers, and software. The photography studio needs no introduction. We have a top-notch setup of lights, backdrop, and cameras. You'll find the studio always occupied by students of all grades. And you know what? That's not all. We have another campus of a very short distance. Come on, let's check that out. Here we are at the lab campus, where you pick up the skills when you make media career. As you can see, this is our very own high-tech media lab. Our curriculum, along with these labs, helps us upskill for the global industry. We have these 5 professional faculties: teleprompters, reading screens, sound mixers, and also a radio room for the daily company. The best thing about Pearl is that you don't have closed books. Instead, you learn by collaborating with your peer group, your faculty, and more so with industry leaders. And that's what being a Pearlite is all about. This is where we believe in our dreams, create solutions to real world problems, and keep the impossible. I'm a proud Pearlite. Are you one of us?
Thank you so much. Because Government of India as well as there is a very wonderful thing which is coming to for all of you for a future is something which you can design your career and your degree. So we'll just play 1-minute video to tell you how you can choose your career along with your passion or your personal interest which you have. So just a small video how UPS there is very different.
You are unique and special. So should be your degree. A degree that enables you to pursue your interest with your passion. For the more you learn, the better prepared you are for life. At UPES, we have revolutionized learning for you. You can now design your own degree. For example, not only will you graduate with a BTech degree with your chosen specialization like AI, ML, Big Data, or DevSecOps, but you will also have gained expertise in subjects you are passionate about that lie outside your domain, like start your startup, design thinking, and many more, chosen from a bouquet of over 200 minds. And to top it all, you can add life skills courses from the School for Life that will help you meet the needs of the global workplace and evolving lifestyles. And additionally, get unmatched global opportunities by our world's leading universities, alongside industry exposure at top organizations. At UPES, you not only become a subject matter expert in your chosen domain, but it also gives you a chance to explore your passion. We call this learning revolutionized.
That was really wonderful. Now I request our worthy principal sir to extend the token of love and reverence to the speaker of the day, Mr. Viveck Vaswani. Audience, you also can thank them with your thunderous claps. Your clap should not stop because this is the only way to thank them. Our PCM minds are really excited to get flicked with our celebrity, Mr. Viveck Vaswani. So we are giving chance to a few students to get flicked with the sir. Teachers kindly manage. Photograph is a memory that is captured for forever, and this day will surely live in our hearts forever. Students kindly maintain the decorum. Students, please maintain silence. Thank you so much, sir. No more students, please kindly get back to your seats. While photographs are being clicked, audience are requested to maintain the decorum. I request the coordinators and the teachers to come for a photograph. Thank you. Audience, kindly maintain the decorum of the auditorium. It is a request. As we head towards the culmination of this session, it becomes imperative to thank one another. So here I invite the student president, Raghav Garg, to propose a formal vote of thanks. As we head towards the culmination of this session, it becomes imperative to thank one and all. So here I invite the student president of BCM Leadership Forum, Raghav Garg, to propose a formal vote of thanks.
My attitude reflects my gratitude. Good morning, everyone. This is Raghav Garg, President, BCM Leadership Forum, and on behalf of the forum, Secretary Ritika, Joint Secretary Nandini, and other members, Ravnoor, Keshav, and Samriddhi, extend my gratitude to each and everyone. First of all, I would like to extend my gratitude to our speaker of the session, Mr. Viveck Vaswani, Dean, the School of Contemporary Media, Pearl Academy, for being here with us and contributing greatly to our knowledge and awareness. I also thank Mr. Ankur Jain, Director, GUS Global Services, and Mr. Sumit Watson, Manager, GUS Global Services, for adding grace to this event by their presence. A sincere thanks to Manager, BCM School, Dr. Prem Kumarji, and our worthy Principal, Sir, Mr. D.P. Guleria, for organizing such a wonderful session. I also thank the beautiful ladies, Mrs. Anuradha and Dr. Monica, for joining us. And at the last, not the least, I thank all the coordinators, teachers, and students who have been a lovely audience. I also thank the virtual audience and all the members of the forum for making this session a great success. Once again, thanks to all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rahul. Every start has an end. So giving an end to this lecture on creative careers, I request all of you to stand for the pride of the nation, the national anthem.
Jai
Thank you so much for joining us. We will soon meet for another electrifying lecture back to home. Students are requested to be seated quietly